The second of them being that we won't be using any chat, so my apologies if we get any messages and I am completely oblivious to the fact, even though I'm normally completely oblivious to the fact. I'm not even sure if I'm fit for this line of work or something, but we do our best, I guess. Okay, you know what, this is hope, in hopes that we can get this particular screenshot backed up so we can have some paranoia there backed up. Or we could take this one to the infinite years. The other one was prettier, I guess. So what we should be doing, what we want to be doing today, is something rather different than usual. What we want to do today is try to get as many of our troops, many of our characters showcase. But in order to do that, we are going to, well, it's going to be rather difficult. But the reason why we're not going to be using any of the services mentioned before is because we are going to try to get as much resources available, as much RAM especially, as available as possible, so that we can change virtual machines in a fast succession, in a fast manner. So if we have enough virtual memory, enough RAM memory, enough processor, it shouldn't go as slow as it has been going these past few days. That is in theory. In practice, as I'm mentioning, let's see what we're able to attain.
嘘をつくと鼻が伸びる物語。作者がいない今ならば、多分嘘をついても大丈夫だろう。だから言おう。君が必要。
So I will leave you with some of the actual SINoALICE music, which is not bad. The only problem being it sometimes scares throughout the gameplay with a considerable amount of moments of silence. So of course they are done to create atmosphere, seeing as it is a horror game and all of that. That's completely reasonable. Yet we are usually in the requirement of a lot more sound going through our headphones. Not sure if this is centered. It's kind of difficult without the chat window to guide me. Yeah, I'm not sure if I should actually open the chat window. Maybe, yeah, I think it may end up being a much more useful tool than. Well, I think it must be the VLC and its really big amount of music. It's really big library. The one taking most of the resources, I'm going to hope, because without the chat it really is difficult to center this window and to know our queue. Let's see, it seems it is here, around that area. Okay, let's see if we can still lower it just a little bit. Or not. Okay, let's see. There we go. No, we lost it. Okay. Seems. There we go. Or not. I swear I didn't move. I didn't even sneeze. What happened there? Let's see. Sometimes it doesn't. This is not one of those times. No, okay, we're not going to do this again. No, I refuse to be at 100 hours trying to get that window to abide. So let's leave it at that. Just one last try. Yep, we are not getting it. Oh, we are? Okay. And just a little bit here. And that should do it. Okay. This could potentially be... to spare our ears. Maybe. Anyways, off we go. First verse. Let's see if we can and how many verses we are able to actually showcase. We're going to try to do, which is like what the original intention was. We're going to try to do 1, 2, 3 verses tops with each team. And then we are going to try to... We're going to shuffle the team again. So be sure to try to enjoy as much as you can of each and every team, because in theory we should be shuffling rather fast and not looking back. So... This is SINoALICE, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in on us, and be very much welcome to our gameplay. Possibly one of the last few available live on the global North American global server. Prior to our temporary migration to the Japanese server, which is also going to be closing in a few days. We're going to try to do our best, but this is where we got most of our things going, of our development going. This is where we got most of our development going. So we have absolutely 0 characters created in the Japanese server, or we have like 5 characters or something, but it's nowhere near the almost 150 characters we managed to create here on the global server. So whatever we do in the Japanese server, it's definitely not going to be as expansive and as developed, or it's very unlikely to be than the things that we are doing on this one. So make sure to enjoy. I'm going to, hopefully I am able to find the right verses in a fast manner, so we can get to see an actually good gameplay from each of the teams before they get swapped, right? Let's see how many we can get. So that's the dynamic. Then we're going to try 1, 2, 3 versus tops. 3, no, not 1, 2 to 4, 2 to 3 verses. I think 2 to 3 verses is a good amount. We're going to try 2. I think we're going to try that was the original idea, trying 3 verses, changing the team, trying 3 times, changing the main character. That's what we're going to do. That's what we were trying to do these past few days. But, well, it's just so difficult because, I don't know, I feel you need to get like more than just 3 verses to get a proper hang of your team, you know. There are complete anime seasons running for more than 12 episodes at a time that try to at times explore the intricacies and the details and the inner workings of teams and characters, and sometimes they're not even able to skim the surface. So we're gonna try to do that in less than 3 verses, which range from sometimes 1 to 10 minutes. So I doubt obviously we're not going to be able to get anywhere near, but hopefully, as we have been mentioning, we get to, at the very least, get a proper or somewhat nice homage to them. Okay, so this verse is a little difficult. We don't want to go into the easiest verse either, because that is far from being interesting either, or it's not easy finding out where your characters are best fitted, right? Since it takes quite a while to get back into into action, it is considerably difficult. It is considerably difficult. Let's see, let's try. I don't think we did anything in that verse. Let's go with 1-4. Verse 1-4 with this team. Alright, so I will leave you with some music now. This is going to be, as I mentioned, music from SINoALICE, which all in all already has a pretty good soundtrack. It was especially better, or it is especially better, if you actually go into the whole thing, which requires, well, it was, what's the name? It was when the service was running and the banners, the verses, the events were up. They also portrayed a lot of the soundtracks and the music that made this game so wonderful. So it's going to be a little less varied right now, since we're going to be doing only a portion of the verses, not even going further deep down into higher difficulties, because it kind of breaks our desired gameplay, which is one character, one weapon each. But still, hopefully something that's enjoyable and good, right? Sadly, as we mentioned, we are not going to be listening to any of our other music selection, trying to get as many resources from the computer as possible to be able to do the swapping and the switching as fast as we can. So hopefully you get to enjoy, and I'll talk to you everybody back in just a couple of minutes. See you later then.
失礼します。圧殺する。失礼します。失礼します。圧殺する。
作者のいない物語。それは羅針盤を失った後悔のようだ。さしずめ僕は漂う小舟。
叫んで。 傷ついて。失礼します。失礼します。失礼します。申し訳ありません。力ずくで決める。
Alright, so those were the 3 verses for our first team. Those were the 3 verses for our first team. I'm definitely going to be missing out this group. Oh man, I love that Bluebird, the one that the Sloven Bear, Red Riding Hood, the Sloven Bear Minstrel had a Bluebird something. I don't remember the name exactly of the weapon. Bluebird staff something. It's so pretty, it looks so pretty. And oh wow, Princess Kaguya using that. Vigilante Sprite, the crossbow also looks so good. And well, where can I start saying good things about Gretel with a bow? That particular Gretel is one of my favorite ones to use a bow. It's just plain wonderful. Every bow looks good on her. I think that's the one that look the best or close to it. And well, a Red Riding Hood that looks like a new Sankor. He looks very nicely dressed, and with that spear she looks really nice. But we're not gonna be able to do an elegy on each of them soon, because that will take us even more time. But we better just concentrate on doing the other things. I think we're gonna have to change the whole team composition if we want to move fast. A quick rundown on the numbers tells me that it's going to take more than 12 hours to do this, right? This one again? Okay, so what we're going to be doing is grabbing them, placing them here, and deleting them from this list. Right, that makes sense. Guess that kind of makes sense, right? Okay, next one. This is somewhat of a... This one again? Okay, well, we need to get moving, so I'm going to choose a different one. Such a waste. I mean, so much was done, and so much is going to be so lost. Anyways, no point crying about it, I guess. It feels rather stressful. Since we are in such a time restraint, it's so sad because this was the plan to be done with this game, but not in this particular speed. The idea was to do this every time we played the game, which was maybe not every day, maybe not every week, but definitely somewhere around the lines of every month, and we would showcase a couple of teams. It would have been really fun. And instead we're just having to cram down all of this in just a couple of hours, if we're even able to hold our strength to do it. Chances are we're going to not, because we've never been that sturdy to begin with. Sad. Okay, let's see, we have all of them already. No, okay. This is not even including the fact that we were completely unable to finish the list. So, not only did we not get the 200 that we could have and that were planned, but many of them still have placeholders. Alright, so apparently we got the list, and now we need to go here and to the Team Alice team. We change. It takes so much. It's a waste. It is a waste. Queen Bluebird staff is wonderful, and there's somewhere around there another staff. What is wrong with this? Let's see, maybe if we close it, somewhere around the line there's another staff that was like a heart-shaped green gem staff. It was so beautiful. But I'm not even sure if we in the end got that one, because we had it in an account on which I'm not sure if we ended up choosing that one or another one. Okay, let's see who is our next team meant to be. We need oh man, this is just difficult. How do we... I think we're gonna have to move this if we want to do it faster, but it's kind of a pain to take it back to where it was. Okay, anyways, we need Pinocchio, Rapunzel, and Hamelin. Pinocchio, Rapunzel, and Hamelin. Keep your eyes open for Pinocchio, Rapunzel, or Hamelin. This is a Rapunzel. Rapunzel Gunner. Enchanting Hammer, Water. Yeah, this one must be the one. Okay, we have another Rapunzel here. Rapunzel, but this is a rear guard. Rapunzel, Pinocchio, Rapunzel, and Hamelin. Pinocchio, Rapunzel, and Hamelin. There is another Rapunzel here, but that's not the one. Rapunzel, Half Nightmare. Pinocchio, but we need a Vanguard Pinocchio. And then it has a Magma Axe. Pinocchio, that's not the one. Pinocchio, Rapunzel, and Hamelin. Did we went through? Okay, here's a Hamelin. We're looking for Hamelin Crusher. This is not the one. Okay. The hardest one is going to be all the Alice's and Briar Rose or Sleeping Beauty. Hamelin, no, neither one of these two. Okay, we have a Rapunzel here. Rapunzel, Crusher. We have actually. This is one of those repeated weapons. Pinocchio, Crusher, Magma Axe, Fire Axe. This one must be the one, right? Wow, that's really something. Well, the deal with the axes is that they are a considerable small amount of them, so that's one of those weapons that were repeated. Hamelin Crusher, Embodiment of Love, Fire. This must be the one, but we made that mistake and used one that had a chorus caliber, so I'm not sure if this is the one still. Okay, we're looking for how many still? 2? 1. Rapunzel with an axe. Rapunzel. Okay, we must have had missed her. We must have had missed her because we reached the end of the list and we're still missing one character. Okay, Rapunzel, right? Rapunzel Crusher, Magma Axe. This is the one. Rapunzel Crusher, Magma Axe. Alright, we're ready for another burst. I have no idea just how strong this team is. It seems I'm not even sure. Anything I tell you is just bluff, because I have absolute zero clue as to what this team may be able to do and what it may not be able to do. Alright, let's go into Red Riding Hood. Alright, Red Riding Hood. Let's see, we're bound to do the first burst. The team is not that weak and it doesn't have any rear guards, which means we should be able to do the very first verse, and who knows just how many of them. Let's see, I wonder if we got this well center. Okay, so I'll leave you back with some music. And we're running 3 more verses, changing the theme, and then we will change the character and so on and so forth. So stay tuned, hopefully you're enjoying. This is SINoALICE, and we're trying to give a very big amount of variety of content here. So I will talk to everybody later. Hopefully you're doing very well, and hopefully you're enjoying the show.
力ずくで決める。
柔らかな腹綿をケーキに、温かい血をぶどう酒に。さあ、お見舞いに出かけなきゃ。私だってやれるんです。
巻き込んだらすみません。これでいいのかな。
クレッション。
私は戦い続ける。
道草をしてはいけません。早く行かないとおばあさんが退屈しちゃう。私だってやれるんです。
巻き込んだらすみません。
Alright, let's give a round of applause to our team number 2. we made a mistake there. We actually didn't get the right team, it seems. It should have been Pinocchio Crusher with a Magma Axe. It should have been Rapunzel Crusher with a Magma Axe, Rapunzel Gunner with Enchanting Hammer, Hamelin Crusher with Embodiment of Love. Okay, this is where we made a mistake. We got Rapunzel something else. with a gun rather than Rapunzel Crusher with a magma axe, unless this was changed somewhere. No, it doesn't look like it was. I would probably just made a mistake there. Let's see, Rapunzel. We instead went with Rapunzel Breaker. Yeah, this is kind of a recurring issue, isn't it? Alright, let's take down Rapunzel Breaker. Rapunzel Breaker, who just participated. And we'll leave Rapunzel Crusher for later. Okay, so we will be running one more team and then switching into a different group. Let's see who are the lucky ones. It would be so awesome if it could just be properly randomized, but it wouldn't allow us to play every character. Yeah, what's the point about thinking? What's the point now thinking about whatever, right? Okay, Alice Breaker, a curse gun. This is actually our main character. So let's find her in this list and delete it from here, right? Okay, and let's replace her here. This again? Wait a second. That's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, it's just highly unlikely, right? I guess we're witnessing it. Okay, so it seems that what we're dealing with here, if my memory serves me right, is the fact that we I can see what happened. Okay, so we got some placeholders, but not just for characters. We also got some placeholders for some weapons. Not that many, but probably we said, oh, okay, we need someone with a rifle. I think that's like the only one. That and a couple that were like duped without intending. Okay, she is still in another team, right? Gorman Special, Red Riding Hood. I am totally sure of it. So we said, okay, so we need a rifle. It was, I believe that was like the only weapon, or one of the very, very few. But we need a fire rifle, but they were so scarce, and we didn't get any raffles, so we ended up getting the placeholder, which was sold at the shop, and that's why we have two with the same exact rifle. And since it was done on the almost at the end of the almost at the end of the thing, remember what are we looking for again? The Gorman Special. Okay, Gorman Special, which is already participating elsewhere. Okay, so we need to replace her. Therefore, that's why that one is duped there. But wow, what are the chances, right? What are the odds? Okay, Briar Rose Half Nightmare. Wow, that was a half nightmare to get fixed. Look at all the text that I left there. We wanted to use okay, here's the story. Briar Rose Half Nightmare, Monk Staff Fire S. Changing to clairvoyant stuff. Delaying Briar Rose Half Nightmare and using Fire Wind on Briar Rose Sorcerer. I don't even understand what it is that I wrote there. I could potentially find out what it is that I was trying to do or say if I get some time into trying to find out, but I don't think that's our main focus for the occasion. Oh, the Lumi of Bondage. I just hope oh my gosh, we're getting so many bangers, and I bet it's like these things way of, in the end, just stocking us with a bunch of rear guards that are not going to be able to do even a single verse. Because, and to make things worse, a lot of damaging weapon of physical damage weapons and almost no magical weapons. So it's going to be super unbalanced, but yeah, you know, we're rolling with it. We're rolling with it because we thought so when we were creating the stuff. Oh, what do? Do we balance? No, we don't balance. We don't believe in that. We give them their appropriate weapon, the weapon that is for them. The balance that we were trying to do was numerical, but not type wise, not with the types or the weapons or something. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think it kind of does, but it may only do it for me. Okay, so our next team is going to be, let's write this down. And this is the last team that we're going to be playing. Alice Gunner. Well, not exactly. It's going to be the last team right now, but since we're going to have to do, according to my calculations, around 30 teams, chances are we're going to see this Alice 10 more times, right? Am I making that math right? Well, something around that. I don't know. That's also not our main focus right now. Okay, I will have to excuse myself for a couple of seconds. Don't go away, and we'll be right back with more SINoALICE. Stay tuned. Alright, we are back and we are ready then to get our new team going. Let's see what our new team is again. Well, I know we have we're gonna have one of the difficult ones because it's one of the ones that have a placeholder. In other words, one of the Alices that are like so many of. So we can only get around. We can only try to find it by its name. Oh no, by its portrait. Well, yeah, by its portrait. And by the type of weapon, but if there are many with fire weapons, that's how we're getting a different one. Maybe we should write down how much power she has, so that we can separate her from the other ones that are the same. Okay, so we're looking for Briar Rose, Gretel, Briar Rose Crusher. I don't think we made that one, did we? I think it was one of the two that we didn't end up making. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, we're looking still for Gretel, Briar Rose, and another Briar Rose, and Alice. Is that right? Alice Breaker. Yes, Briar Rose, Gretel, and Alice. This is not the one. This is probably the one with Skycadex. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This is a Briar Rose. Now we're looking for Briar Rose Half Nightmare and Briar Rose Crusher. This one is Rearguard. And which Gretel? Rearguard. Okay, so it's a bunch of rearguards, aren't they? Except the Crusher with the if she exists. It must be this one. Briar Rose Crusher with a fire weapon. It's bound to be. I keep mixing Breaker and Crusher. Breaker is the one with the sword, isn't it? Let's see. Well, this one was Breaker and we went for Crusher. Okay. So this must be the one. Briar Rose Crusher with a fire weapon. I'm not sure if that's a portrait of Briar Rose Crusher or Briar Rose something Crusher. Briar Rose Half Nightmare. Briar Rose Half Nightmare. We're looking for Gretel and Alice. Gretel and Alice. Gretel. Here's an Alice, but she has a water weapon. Gretel and Alice. We're actually looking for an Alice that has the same net power that we do. Although we don't know how much net power we have, so that's about as useless. Alice but with a green. Alice with a red. This could be the one. But this could be the one too. Oh darn. Which one could it be? Let's pick this first one and see. Gretel what? Gluttonous Tiger Sorcerer. I love how she looks with that Forest Aid wind stuff. That's also a wonderful stuff. It's second to that one with a heart. but still good enough. Okay, here's another one, another Alice with a fire one, and yet another Alice with a fire one. Oh, that's gonna be super difficult. Let's write down the net power. This is another Alice with a fire one? No, just an Alice. I think this is this is another Gretel. Gretel, we can't find that Gretel. Another Alice with a fire one. But that gun is like a high tier, so I don't think it's the one giving a low net power. You know, we ended up thinking, oh well, if this becomes such a problem, what we will end up doing is going to each of the characters and changing their names into that of the character. But it was going to be a problem with Little Mermaid, Little Match Girl. Such long names. I'm not even sure if Pinocchio even was able to fit that character limit. It's strange. Okay, we are completely unable to find that Gretel. It's probably there. She's obviously there, or most likely than not there, but still avoiding our eyesight. But Gretel, that was not the one. There's a Gretel. There are two Gretels here. This is a sorcerer. This must be the one. Sorcerer with a green weapon. That's very likely to be the one. Okay, I want to write down how much net power this Alice that we chose has, because if she's not the one, we still need to take her off from the list. 1128. Now the question is, where do we write this down? 1128. Okay, let's see. For the moment being, we're gonna write it here. 1128. If it is, we can just scratch it off her list. If she isn't, we need to write down elsewhere that number before we delete it. And then if we get when she gets ruffled again, we should know who she was and which one we ended up choosing, right? Okay, sounds like a plan. It's not the most elaborate or convoluted plan, but it can get somewhat confusing, so we had it stated. Okay, Gretel, Alice, Briar Rose again. That Briar Rose should have enough power to clear the whole thing, because that axe is certainly brutish. It's certainly strong. Certainly very, very damaging. Yet I'm not sure how much actual power she could end up having. Nevertheless, well, let's give it a try at chapter 1-3, because we still need to clear further verses. It's good to have the verses clear, so that we can more or less guess where it is that our characters could potentially end up going. Or at least have the variety and the possibility to go into many different verses rather than be limited, right? Well, that's all very logical too. Okay, I believe this is where we should be centering our view. This is going to be then. This wasn't the Alice. What the heck is this Alice? I don't. I remember that. I remember now. That. Okay, I don't remember the name of the sword, but I remember that sword. We got it ruffled along with that. Along with that, which was attained by Snow White, the past glory one. But the other three are accurate. So we got Briar Rose, Clairvoyant Stuff, Gretel with I forgot Forest Aid, and Briar Rose with Magma Axe. No, that's not Magma Axe, that's the other axe. Yeah, that's the sturdy axe, the strong axe. I'm not sure if we ended up evolving it or not. But we got Alice with a sword rather than Alice with a gun. Yeah, this was a rather short burst too. We may end up doing a fourth one. I don't like doing very short verses, you know. If the verse is lower than 2 minutes, it doesn't count. Is this center, man? I have no idea. This is so stressful. Okay, let's see. We're going to try to center it on the photo, right? At the end of the photo. And I'm not even sure where to look at. I guess, I don't know. Okay, but we're keeping it that way. If it is center, good. If it isn't, then we are perpetuating the error, I guess. I think we need to go a little below, maybe there. Yeah, we definitely cannot look back. Cannot look back either. Alright, so right now we will leave you with some music again. Hopefully it's been of your enjoyment. This is a very fast-paced run for our standard. It's here, right? You need to be able to see the last name but not the last battle. It's a very fast-paced rhythm for what we're used to. But that was the original intention, to have all these characters become available fast and have the gameplay be surprising with whatever your group, your team could end up being. But that would have required a project that was very, very big, somewhat unrealistic. I will talk about I will talk more about that in our short while, but for now I will leave you back with some music. I think we're gonna have to run 3 more verses. These verses have been just extremely short, but I don't want to overdo it, so I guess we can do, yes, probably 3 more verses, whatever they end up being, right? And we have 2 rear guards even. Okay, so back to the music. Hopefully this has been of your enjoyment. This is SINoALICE. Well, thank you very much for staying tuned on the channel. We'll talk back in a while.
力ずくで決める。 自分の思いを信じれば、たとえ汚泥の中であろうとも、何より美しい花となる。
これで OK。
力ずくで決める。
ふかふかの枕。
痛み、苦しみ、悩み、憂い、それらに構っている暇などない。後悔すれば全てが無に帰すから。
仕方ないですね。
倒した相手に同情などしない。決意は揺るがず、心は揺るぎ、ただひたすらに命を奪う。進め、進め、進め、進め。圧殺する。力ずくで決める。力ずくで決める。圧殺する。 圧殺する。力ずくで決める。圧殺する。
ないですね。
証明。ふかふかの枕。
Wow, that was exciting. that was exciting in its own way. I'm not sure if you're still watching. It may not be something for everybody, but I think it was a fairly exciting and entertaining thing to watch. We managed to hold the line to defend for the 10 minutes, right? It means we win. Well, it doesn't mean we win, but it was a fairly exciting exercise, and it would have been even better had we seen 5 more minutes of it, because I don't think we would have managed to hold the line. That would have been very interesting and very intriguing to watch because of that particular fact. Let's see, where are we standing? A cursed gun. We didn't find the accursed gun, but we did find none of this. Commandant's bow, illusionary sight, bowkeeper. Was that the bowkeeper? No, bowkeeper is a lance. Ancestral double axe, sky catax, hammer of brutality, swordsmith spellbook. That was a swordsmith spellbook, right? Yeah, indeed, that was the swordsmith spellbook. That's one of my favorite weapons, but I'm only used to seeing it upgraded. That's a weapon that was the one. Wow, well, we didn't enjoy it as much as I would have wanted. Okay, we're gonna write down the net power here so that whenever we find this next Alice, we don't play with this next Alice, but we're going to be taking the previous Alice, and we need to take the Alice into this particular Alice account, because otherwise we will not know if we are taking this Alice or another Alice. Does that make sense? Seeing as there are 2 Alices with a cursed gun, if we go into another account and use an Alice with an accursed gun, we won't know if it was the Alice that's main or the Alice that's with this number. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we did Briar Rose, Half Nightmare, Monk stuff. We did Gretel, Gluttonous Tiger Sorcerer with Forest Aid, Forest Aid is the name of the stuff. And Briar Rose Crusher with Origin of Flames. That was so exciting because even with the Briar Rose Crusher using the Origin of Flames, which was ranking up our attack stat all the way down to 7, I think we managed to make it, we still were unable to put a dent on that golem. We weren't able to do more than 1 damage at a time. That was I was hoping to make a little more damage, but if we had killed the golem, it wouldn't have been as exciting. I would have liked 3 or 4 more minutes for that burst, just to see if we were how long we could have held on. I know it's kind of a sadistic thought, but I don't know. It felt good, but it felt like something was amiss, right? Like something. I'm not sure exactly what that something that was amiss is. A sort of a conclusion, I guess, but what kind of conclusion, I don't know. We either win or we either lose, or the timer runs out, which is also losing, but it feels like losing from dying would have been more exciting. I know that sounds kind of bad to say, but I like the outcome, but I would have preferred had the 10-minute mark been reached was we had less than the 5 characters extending. Yes, I think that's the one. It's still a sadistic kind of thought, but it's still it kind of has a reason. What's the word? Aesthetic reason? Adrenalinic reason. Okay, so we have Mustang already in another team. You know what we don't have? The Elric brothers anywhere, so we may be able to get them on our main account, but I won't make any promises. So for the time being we have Mustang, that means we replace Mustang. Although if you ask me, they look a little fat, both of them together, Mustang and Hamelin Demon. They look a little fat, both of them together, side by side on the other account. Okay, oh, I like this one. This is Alice Paladin using the Plushigon of Langor. As I mentioned, that's also one of my favorite weapons. I guess it could be just about as favorite or very close to where Septeptopos is. Those are probably two of my favorite weapons. Plushigon of Langor, come on, it's a Plushigon, it's like a Nerf gun, it's super fun to have, it's like very beautiful. Oh, we already have Snow White Half Nightmare. Well, she was played fairly recently and we're kind of in a hurry, so we're gonna have to skip these ones that have already been played. We have absolutely no idea if we're going to be able to do this in the first place. Snow White Breaker, demonic sort of hellfire. That looks like a paddle. Okay, we're just setting up her team. Alice Proud Lion Breaker, Nameless Sword. That's the one we have in our main account. I was playing earlier today on my phone, and that's the one we have there, if my memory serves me right, or if I guess it's memory, right? Whether if I'm remembering what I saw earlier correctly, or if I'm remembering how the Nameless Sword and the Alice Proud Lion Breaker look in the first place. I think that's the one. Yeah, I'm quite sure she's the one. Alright, so we're going to set up these three alongside the same Alice that we have pending by guessing which one approximately is the one that has the numbers. Let's just remember to write the numbers down again. We need to write down how much raw power that one has. That weapon that we're about to choose has. Okay. Let us see again. Oh, we did this too early. We did this too early. We needed to once again get. We have 3 Alice. Wow, 3 Alices. 3 Alice. Just a Snow White. That looks like a fairly stagnant team. Okay, let's see. Lots of Alice and a Snow White. This is the Snow White? No, that's the Sharpwear Snow White. Alice and a Snow White. Alice and a Snow White. This is Alice Paladin, I remember, and she's level 42. This is Snow White with the demonic sword. Now we need Alice. Proud Lion Breaker, and one of those Alice with the red weapon. Is this a Proud Lion Breaker? No, he has a wing sword. 1107. This is probably the next one we should be checking. So let's write that down. 1107. 1107. 1107. Alright, and Proud Lion Breaker. Wait, that was a fire weapon, wasn't it? Fire weapon, yes. Proud Lion Breaker. Alice Proud Lion Breaker. Using a wind weapon. Alice Proud Lion Breaker. Using a wind weapon. Alice Proud Lion Breaker using a wind weapon. There we go. And that's about it. Okay, so we select our team just to remember that we need to, well, just to do it. I don't know. We're still probably going to remember. And we're going to close here and open our next one. Who is our next one though? I guess it's going to be Red Riding Hood with Septeptepos. Alright, so while this opens, we will leave you for the moment being. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. And well, thank you very much for staying tuned. Hopefully you have been enjoying the show and the game. This is, as mentioned, SINoALICE for, I would say, the PC, but it's not the PC. SINoALICE for Android devices, right? SINoALICE for mobile. There is, though, in Japan, a SINoALICE for PC, technically, as it is available on the browser. If you play in Japan, you can play on the browser. Alright, but I'm digressing here. We will be back in just a short moment, so stay tuned as we load our next character to be played. See you in a while. Alright everybody, we are back. We are back and ready to continue with our SINoALICE gameplay, which now will have us playing instead as Red Riding Hood Breaker with, let's see, a different team composition. I'm quite sure. Okay, I think we can give this team a last run. Let's give this team one last run, and we will be choosing a new team for her afterwards. Okay. Oh wait, I had this. Alright, there we go. We can give this team one last run, and after that we'll go into a new team. Yeah? Alright, so the question is which bears. Okay, I have this plan. Go Alice, Briar, Rose, and Gretel, right? Alice, Briar, Rose, and Gretel. There's a problem, I think. Oh no, she has Gretel unlocked. That's good news. And she has Alice unlocked. And this team, is it strong? I don't remember. Let's try Alice Bears 2. Let's try Alice Bears 2 chapter. Let's go with chapter 2-1 just in case. So it will go as follows, as we have been doing in the previous occasion. We will do 3 verses, or less than 5 at the very least, depending on how well they do. After that we will be changing teams. We will do that 3 times, right? That's more or less the dynamic. This one is Alice, another Alice. Wow, we have so many of those. It would have been wonderful to see many other characters. I bet we would have obtained some in the what was the name of the event again? Hold on just a second. I have it right there. It's called, wow, I've forgotten. Tales Untold event. Yes, the Tales Untold event. I bet we would have obtained a bunch of other characters. And as far as my knowledge goes, there are even more characters in the Japanese server, so that would have been also a wonderful sight to bear. Sadly, one that is not gonna happen. Or maybe it is, I'm not sure, but I don't think there's like that many days remaining in Japanese server. I believe, if memory serves me right as well, it must be the ending, the service ending is scheduled for around December the 26th or something like that. Well, that's definitely still not very far from where we are. Hopefully they run a Tales Untold event, but you know what? I'm not, well, yeah, I can almost be certain after opening 150 almost accounts in global North America and 6 in Japan. Well, after 150 accounts almost in North America and global, on the initial roll we obtain less than 5 characters in 150 account. Whilst in Japan, we open the initial role, the one that you get given when you start your account, and we already have 6 different characters out of 7 or 5 out of 6, something like that. So I can't tell for 100% certain, but yeah, more than likely. I don't understand why that difference in decision, but you are basically you basically need to do any kind of gacha pull in the global server to get a different character from the starting ones. And in Japan, they receive you with a different character, with a very varied characters. I remember we received like the OT alternative, and Gretel with the eye patch. Gretel, I think that's Gretel Gunner or Serpent Gunner. Maybe a Serpent Gunner, one of the two. And I don't remember, but I'm quite sure. Oh, we got an Alice too. I don't remember which Alice that was, but I think it was a Lustful Scorpion one. Oh, by the way, did we choose Proud Lion or Lustful Scorpion? I'm not sure we have Lustful Scorpion on global. By the way, was this a fast verse or a slow verse? I did not pay much attention. I think we can go just a little bit further. It looked like it wasn't that difficult or lengthy. Nobody died there. Okay, so what's our situation? Does that count as one verse or as half a verse? I don't know. Well, we were about to run a new verse on an extra verse on the previous account, but we noticed that since we did 10 minutes on that last one, the pain and price of constant loss remind me that I am still fighting. Yes, every single last day until we stop doing it, I guess. Yeah, where was I? We were about to do one last verse on the previous account, but we noticed that the last verse we did lasted the whole 10 minutes, so it was pretty fun to watch and pretty good still. I think it more or less accounted for an equivalent to the 3 verses. Alright, so we'll leave you back to the action now and the in-game music, and we'll be back in just a short while. Hopefully you're enjoying. This is SINoALICE. We'll talk in just a short moment. Of course, this was the team that was about to take down Red Riding Hood boss battle on chapter 2, so no wonder it's so easy for them to advance. Okay, so they have played quite considerably anyway, so I think we're just going to roll maybe 2 versus more, which would be good for unlocking, but we're changing team afterwards. Maybe, just a slight maybe, we're going to have to resort to this team back to be able to clear the boss battle that we promised later when we finish, if we finish. Well, let's see what happens. We're still winging it as it comes.
ただ、あの人さえいてくれれば。 一気に決める。正義に広さ。どうしてこんなに不安なんだろう。どうしてこんなに寂しいんだろう。
Oh, it has been quite a while since we last saw that screen. We were doing so well. Well, too bad. Now we go back into the connection issues screen. I'm willing to bet it has to be with our particular setup or connection, because it wasn't happening. It didn't happen in a long while. But the other day, it didn't stop happening every single time, so I am willing to bet it is on our end, but sadly I doubt there's anything we can do, or I cannot think of anything that we can. Well, anyways, I have to remember though, when we changed the team composition, that we have overpowered weapons, so when we change the team, I have to remember to change the weapon setup on our Red Riding Hood. And also, hopefully I get to remember this, but it's not a certainty. I would definitely like to have another season or another session of streams where we use portrait mode, right? That requires a whole different setup on the OBS, and it's a somewhat more complicated situation to handle. Not that much, but it definitely can be done from our standing right now. So hopefully we remember to do it, as we will at one point close the stream to head over to launch. But when we come back from lunch, I certainly hope we can be able to remember to do that particular endeavor, that particular addition to the stream, which is to have a portrait mode stream. Kind of difficult to remember. Hopefully I leave it written down somewhere, but if someone can remind me, that will also be of great assistance. Alright, so this will be the last pairs that this group is going to run. As we have mentioned before, we may see them again for the boss battle, or not. We may see another group, because how am I going to remember this group? Or is it fair with the other characters to not randomize that boss battle still? Well, they had their good run and their fair share of time, so I don't think they have any regrets, or neither should we, depending on where life takes us. Maybe we won't be able to even see that boss battle in the end. Such a shame. Such a difficult endeavor to balance out all the numbers in order to provide for a specific set of experiences, right? Yeah, it's kind of complicated. It's not just throw a team and they will do it. No, it's a little more complicated than that, unfortunately. All in all, it took it's not extremely complicated. It's not rocket science still, but it does take a little bit of mathematics. Well, it took us like 6-7 attempts to be able to find a very well balanced fitting for the particular bears, and I bet it is something that can be done rather faster the more experience one has and the more proficiency one has with all of these weapons and stuff. But it seems that's not gonna happen. I don't see that happening, sadly. A little bit of humor in times of despair, I guess. Well, what else do we have for going on for us, I guess? Alright, let's choose the next team to be seen on this particular account. Let's see, who do we have here? This is a mess. Why is it so odd? Why is it so uncomfortable? This Notepad plus today. Hawkeye. We already have Hawkeye, or rather, we had Hawkeye. Yeah, I think we had like a lot of footage on Hawkeye. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Yeah, this randomizer is wonderful. It's giving us like the exact same tree. If we don't delete them from the list, we're going to be seeing the exact same characters, it seems. Alright, Pinocchio, the bar on the ferry. Pinocchio, the bar on the ferry. There we go, something new. Actually, that's new, but not that new to me, because Pinocchio bar on the ferry was also on the account, on my main account, and it was on the main team. In other words, it was seen by me earlier, yesterday before I fell asleep. I think it was the last time I played. Oh yes, I was waiting for this one. I love this one. This is Rapunzel's swimsuit with a precise bow. Yes, I love this one. Alright, so who do we have? Oh, one more. Alice Breaker, Hammer of Brutality, There's so many Alice Breakers. It makes me look as if I had been very lazy and had not done anything that I said I did. But trust me, there are a lot of characters. There's not just a 90% Alice Breaker. Actually, there's like still probably 10% Alice Breakers and 10% Briar Rose sorcerers, but we have not even seen the Briar Rose sorcerers just yet. That's concerning. Alright, so who are we looking at this time? Alice Breaker, Rapunzel Swimsuit, another Alice Breaker, and Pinocchio. Two Alice Breakers then, did I understand that correctly? Two Alice Breakers, one Pinocchio, one Rapunzel, yes. Two Alice Breaker, one Pinocchio, one Rapunzel. Two Alice Breakers, one Pinocchio, one Rapunzel. Two Alice Breakers, one Pinocchio, one Rapunzel. Okay, what Alice Breaker are we looking for? Bowkeeper and Hammer of Brutality. Okay. There is an Alice Breaker here with a win. Why is she so high up? What is with this number? No, this is Alice Breaker. I remember now, because of the rank. That's Alice Breaker with Eye of Deceptive Eye or something like that. Alice Breaker, Rapunzel, and Pinocchio. Alice Breaker. There's Rapunzel. So now Alice Breaker and Pinocchio. Not even a single Dorothy has come our way thus far. Okay, this may be the one. Bowkeeper is a water spear. I remember it being high ranked, so high powered, so it may go with that number. Let's write it down just in case. 1952. 1952. We're still looking at another Alice Breaker and Pinocchio. I remember the Pinocchio, how it looks like. The one with a hood. The Alice Breaker is using a wind hammer. Okay, so it is Alice Breaker with a wind, Pinocchio with a hood. The bar on the ferry is like one of the weakest weapons, so I'm certain we're going to find him here. Okay, so we have two Alice Breakers with wind. Hammer of Brutality. That's I remember which one that is now. Okay, I remember which one that is. I think it's actually one of the strongest wind weapons, so I don't think we're risking it all that much by going with the highest number. But there are quite a few here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Four Alice Breakers, as far as I could count, that have wind weapons. Okay, maybe we could give it a really fast search at the whole. This reminds me of Resident Evil, the movie. A bunch of Alice and more Alice. Sky Cataracts, but we already saw that has a fairly bigger amount. Let's see, Ancestral Double Axe, that sounds like it's probably more powerful. Illusionary Sight, that's fire. Calamitous Bow, Fire. Princess Village, Fire. Savage Crossbow, that's a wind crossbow, but that's S. It may be more powerful than the Hammer of Brutality. Accursed Gun, Accursed Gun. It seems that's about it. Gluttonous Sight. Dagger of the... no, that's the extension. Gluttonous Sight. Silent Desire, Wind Dagger, that may be weaker. No, that's an S2. Wheel of Brutality, another Wind S. Yeah, so I take that back. It seems that it would actually be a higher of a risk if we went with the higher power Wind Alice Breaker with a Wind there. We should actually go with the weakest Alice Breaker with a Wind, it seems, because all other weapons are S. And though a Hammer could potentially be like high ranking, high tier, high power. It's still an A weapon, so there's I wouldn't say high of a chance, but we're still doing a very well educated guess by going after... what is wrong with all of this? What is wrong? Things that should be kept on top are not, things that shouldn't be kept on top are. We're having a problem with oh, wait a second, we didn't write the number. Seems we're having a problem there with the program that's supposed to handle this. 683 or something, because I really don't know. 683 for the wind. 683. Alright, this is the first group. We still haven't... well, we could have done it with the Sky Kata axe. We had the Sky Kata axe in our group, and we could have seen it in action. What is wrong with this thing? I wonder if it's something that can be fixed. Let's see, let's close the Aqua Snap and see if that's causing the issue. It's quite odd, because I don't recall ever seeing an issue of this kind. Aqua Snap. Very wonderful program. We owe a lot of organization that we're able to do with our windows here thanks to that program. Okay, but today he's not having his best day, it seems. If that even is the issue, I'm not even sure what's causing all of this ruckus. But that didn't fix anything. It's odd. It's been like this ever since like yesterday, and we still, after restarting the computer, didn't get a fix, which is very, very distressful to say the least. Okay, anyways, let's not get distracted. Going back into let's go back into our organization. This is going to be our new team. 2 Alices, 2 Alice Breaker, 1 Rapunzel Swimsuit, 1 Pinocchio Sorcerer, Divine Wisdom, I think is a complete title. Okay, so what pairs should we do? It doesn't look like we're a fairly powerful team, and we just also lower considerably our Septeptapos stats. This is verse 2. We just did some Alice versus yes and no. Oh, yes and no. Well, we're gonna have to go with yes. Okay, so this is technically our first run, not our second. Oh, that's not good. That's why we shouldn't do all runs, because we will have to do 4 rather than 3. Well, whatever, right? It's just the first run. Okay, so we're going to be attempting some Briar Rose. Briar Rose, Kaguya, Gretel, Kaguya, maybe. Briar Rose, Gretel, Kaguya. And we are doing what we are doing, which one? Oh, first verse? We don't have anything. Well, we're kind of weak, so I don't think it's bad that we try first verse even. Okay, first verse. Briar Rose, first verse.
小さなあくびを一つ、眠たげな瞳を開いて、茨姫は考える。眠い。ベッドから出たくない。ずっとまどろんでいたい。目覚まし王子は邪魔なだけ。そうだ、それなら作者にお願いしてずーっと寝ていられる世界にしようっと。その望みに必要な代償が他人の命だとしても。
Alright, so back to the story for us, back to the sound for us. We will be coming back in just a short while, so thanks a lot for staying tuned with us. This is SINoALICE, hopefully it's been of your enjoyment. We'll be back in just a couple of seconds with more assertive commentaries.
力になれるかな。全倒す。
茨のお城は眠りのゆりかご。みんなぐっすり寝てるから入る際には静かにしてね。 うどうぞ。
圧接する。倒す。
ぶどう酒をどうぞ。パパとママからお休みのキス。優しくふんわり暖かくて、とってもとってもくすぐったい。ぶどう酒をどうぞ。どっか行って。どっか行って。太陽が昇ってもお月様が昇ってもぐっすりすやすや夢の中。今日は どんな世界に遊びに行こう。ぶどう酒をどうぞ。一気に決める。避けないでください。夢の中ではどこでも行けるの。お花畑に綺麗な海、緑の山に青い空。夢の世界で私は自由だから。
It's been considerably difficult finding a proper verse for our team, seeing as how the Bowkeeper is so strong. It's incredibly strong. It's one of those late weapons that start at 8,800, 1800 without any modifications or something crazy like that. I don't know. I remember it being like a very strong weapon. It is still doing a considerable amount of damage here in these verses, and Rapunzel with the bow, even though the bow is an A weapon, is one of the characters that we were mentioning earlier as the plans that we were having to do like a balance for certain characters, right? For all characters actually, so that they fit with other weapons. In other words, we grab the strongest weapons value. In this case, Bowkeeper is a good example because it was one of the strongest weapons that there were pure, without any modifications to the character. In other words, you just equip the weapon and nothing else. And we grab the weaker weapons, like for example this particular bow is a good example because it was an A weapon. And the banana bow, as I like to call it, because it, before evolving, looked, in my opinion, like a banana, even though it's not a thick banana, but actually like a very thin banana. But for some reason, every time I see that bow, I feel like it looks like a banana. Anyways, that banana bow is an A weapon, and we were thinking on how to balance it, so we went through the grid system on the sub-weapon, the sub-weapons, and we started beefing it up like we did with, for example, the Septeptopus when we were doing the harder versus. But the whole point was to have it done for like all characters and all weapons, so that no matter where you went, or no matter which character you chose, you will always know more or less what to expect. The amount of damage would be consistent throughout all of the characters, and as we have mentioned in the past, it wouldn't have been consistent according to the same value, but rather according to a specific type of enemies. So in other words, if you were fighting grass enemies, everybody will be doing the more or less the same amount of damage to grass enemies, no matter if you had affinity or not. That was intentionally the plan, but well, it gets a little bit difficult with some verses that are not, of course, of the element that you're making the balance for, seeing as some of the characters would be doing way more damage or way less damage to specific enemies. But all in all, it was still a fairly good balance. Yet we faced the problem, the issue that the further the verses you advance, the less fun they were, in my opinion. They require a lot of damage, they usually made a lot of damage, and you had like little versatility. The most fun verses, as I have mentioned before, are usually found on the chapter 1s. Sometimes chapter 2, but mostly chapter 1, because they were buried, the enemies were very varied. You will enter a verse and not know exactly what it is that you would face, whilst in further down the road versus, you would more or less know what elements you were going to be facing. Right? For example, if you went into Briar Rose chapter 2, you knew that there were bound to be a lot of grass enemies. Likewise with Kaguya, likewise with Pinocchio. And if you went into Red Riding Hood, you would know in chapter 2 that you will be facing many fire enemies. If you went into Alice, for example, on chapter 2, you know that you will be facing grass enemies too, or something like that. Or was it water? But they were consistent. They were consistent as far, you don't agree? Am I having some an inaccurate there? I think that was the case, but I may be wrong. But the Recipe Sour tradition, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, it is important to keep a consistency too, and to more or less know what it is that you are expecting. But I prefer many more times to have a surprise encounter, which is something you can find in the first chapters. The first chapters, like the ones that we are doing right now, we have found fire enemies, which are unexpected in the Briar Rose scenario, right? Especially in later scenarios, I believe you are more or less able to predict that fire enemies are not going to be there. I'm not sure about different acts. I'm only talking about the first act, which is Act of Impulse, if my memory serves me right. And as far as I remember, you get stable kind of enemies further down the road, but not on the first verse. On the first chapter verse. Yeah, on the first verse. That's what I love about the city. Yeah, but not on the first verse. And the problem with these super strong weapons is that they are unable to fit first verse. But if you look at the other two weapons that we're using here, which are the Silent Desire. By the way, we made a mistake there. We didn't get Hammer of Brutality, but rather Silent Desire. But it shouldn't be that far off. I thought that a dagger could have less raw power, less points than a hammer. even if the dagger was S ranked and the hammer was A ranked. That's fairly common. Probably the dagger cost less points to be activated, so it can portray that sense of agility that usually is a staple of set weapons, whilst the hammers are probably more expensive because they are more heavy, right? Something around those lines. Maybe not, but chances are they predicted or they took those things into those details probably into consideration. Maybe not, but still it makes kind of sense that a dagger could be a less powerful weapon in those lower levels. Of course, if you get like an what was it, SR dagger, chances are it's going to be way more powerful than both the S dagger and the A hammer. Anyways, as we were saying, weapons like this, the lower tier weapons, are fit for chapter 1, so you could fight here with Septeptopus, which is an S, and Silent Desire, which is an S, and enemies are receiving 1 damage. But it gives you the possibility to buff the weapons in the sub-weapon system. That bow, for example, the A bow, I don't remember the name right now. The A bow is actually beefed. It's actually more powerful than it originally is because we injected weapons in the sub-system, right? The problem with it being that since it is on a different account, we desire to lower its values to fit an earlier verse, like in the case that we are right now. It will require for us to log into said account and change the values. The even bigger problem is that with SINoALICE, for some reason or another, they decided to make a system in which if you want to change an account from one account to another, it's not as easy as a logout login function, but instead is something that I don't understand the convolution behind it. You need to log in and re-download the game. That's insane, but well, it is what they did, which has me with even less hopes for an eventual private server or even an emulator or something. Maybe it's not that difficult to walk around from. But I don't get it. I can just assume that when you download the game, it just comes with some encryption or something. I don't know. It's so complicated. It's such a weird design. It seems it's aimed towards preventing those kind of things. I don't know, hacking or preventing. What's the word? What's the name for it? Not backtracking, reverse engineering. Yes, it seems like it was done in an effort to prevent things like reverse engineering or something. I don't know. It's something that's not good. I don't get it. Oh wow, our bowkeeper fell. That's not good news for the rest of the team, as they all will be doing 1 damage probably at a time. All in all, it's not a bad verse. All the other ones were somewhat way more faster. Yeah, so the game is super fun, you know. You get all of this, and if you want to do this verse without getting extreme amounts of damage, you can get extreme amounts of armor. The only problem is that in order to do that with the rest of the characters in your party, well, as mentioned, you need to log into each and every one of them, which is not also a problem, unless you need to re-download the game each and every one of those times. Now, the plan that we had, or it wasn't a plan, let's call it more a dream, because it was rather unviable to begin with, we were dreaming about getting all of the characters in virtual machines, right? Just think about it, how unviable that is to do if you needed the actual devices. You need like 200 phones, 200 Android devices, that's just stupid. But yeah, I'm mentioning this because they stated more than once that they did not provide any support or assistance for anybody using anything but Android devices. So forget about getting support if you're using a virtual machine like we are doing here. I don't get it. I don't get these decisions. I don't get it. I don't get how such a good game ends up in such bad hands, bad management. At least from my perspective, but in the end, the world serves its own needs, so everybody is just out there for themselves. Speaking enough of out there for themselves, we are facing this golem solo now. I doubt we are getting anywhere doing 1 damage at a time, but I think it is a fairly good battle if we manage to get our stats up. The problem being that we're facing a golem, which are insanely sturdy and resistant, especially against values that they are resistant to. Yeah, that sounds weird, but just to elaborate on that, if you find an enemy that says resist on the weapon that you're using, chances are you can beef up your weapon a little and do a little more damage. But in the case of golems, you don't need to beef up your weapon just a little bit, you need to beef up your weapon a lot in comparison. Well, yeah, sometimes, of course, if you're level 1 and battling a level 100 enemy, you're going to do 1 damage and you don't need to beef up your weapon a bit, but a ridiculous amount. But in this particular case, comparing something that is not very far from your power level, not that far I guess, it is possible to do some damage if you balance it properly. You know what, this may allow, we may be able to get the right amount, because I think Rapunzel was doing damage. I think even Alice with the Bowkeeper was doing damage, which is a water weapon, just like Septeptopus is. And seeing as we are battling a grass golem, we need to get our values in tune with the Bowkeeper values. Yeah, I think that's more or less it. Otherwise, I doubt we're going to get anywhere past where we are right now. We need to be careful though. If we go too overboard, the golem is just going to be sliced up as butter, and it will leave us then again with another bird done without much. Wait, where did the timer, how far did we go into the timer? Actually, I think we can revive and get this verse going. Oh no! Oh wow, that was awesome! That was so awesome! Did you notice that? We couldn't revive. I saw it. I saw it over the brink of an eye, over the corner of the eye. We did a 0 burst. In other words, we didn't lose by timer, but just because of seconds, 1, 2, 3, less than 10 seconds, because we couldn't revive. And I saw it. I saw the clock, the timer said 0 seconds. That means we could have not win, but more or less, as for our standards, we could have quote-unquote win by surviving the 10 minutes on that battle. Wow, that would have been so awesome. Okay, well, I'm stubborn, so we didn't get all that much action in this account. Therefore, I am willing to give it just one more run. Now, we're doing physical damage. And I have a table over here. If we should have it balanced, then I'm guessing we should have it under these values, right? Hold on, where are my values? Here are my values. Okay, so a sword that is made of water should be doing 750. It's doing 1,000. So I haven't been using these numbers for a long while, so my apologies if I have something terribly broken. Well, it starts at 292, so 750 is still a big leap. Let's run it with that. 763, and let's see if there's any difference. About the armor, let's keep it. I think we're using a level 30 armor, which is why we held so much more than the rest of the team. Yes, level 30 armor. Level 30 tier 1 armor, so not extremely resistant, but certainly more resistant than the level 1 armor by far. Yeah, even though it's useful for doing things like boss versus, it has us at a noticeable disadvantage in front of the rest of our team. So it is obvious that if we fight an enemy that is balanced for the rest of our team, we would be facing, what's a good word for it? Alienation. I think that's the word, right? Alienation. You're left by yourself or something on those lines. I believe there's another word when you're being excluded, something like that. I think it's called alienation. I'm not sure if there's another term. Quite sure there is, but I don't remember it right now. Well, anyways, that's beyond importance. So back to the verse in which we were, and I'll leave you with some music again. So yeah, we had that dream, right, to have 200 virtual machines, 200 BlueStack virtual machines, but that would have gone for more than 2 terabytes, 1 terabyte at the very least. Let's see, this one right now, or one of these right now, is waiting 10 gigabytes. And the problem is that they often get, or used to get updated with extra content, heavy content. So even if the game by itself weighted like 3 gigabytes, you could end up having 10 gigabytes in just a matter of months. But let's make it right there at 10 gigabytes. 10 gigabytes, 200 accounts. Let's see, 10 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes, 200 gigabytes, 2000 gigabytes, yeah, around 2 terabytes. That would have taken around 2 terabytes of data to be able to have all the 200 accounts sitting in one place, to be able to more or less access them in a somewhat easy fashion, to be able to change values on them, you know, like, oh, let's get more armor on this character, oh, let's get less strength on this one, stuff like that. 2 teras, the 2 terabyte game, oh wow. I don't know, but I don't think there is a game in the face of the earth right now that is able to take 2 terabytes of your heart, right? Basically, it's just a single game still, right? With many different experiences, but just a single game. Okay, I'll let you to ponder on that thought, and we'll come back to it in a while. But for now, let's go back into some of the music and some of the gameplay. Hopefully, it's been of your enjoyment. This is SINoALICE. My numbers were so wrong. I'm seeing we're doing 1 damage to this golem still. Oh, but so is Alice.